Coming up on this edition of Command Center, Coach Commands with Ron Rivera. The Commanders go into Philadelphia and wreck the Eagles' perfect season. We will get Coach's reaction to the win and how he is getting his team ready for tomorrow's matchup on a short week. Terry McLaurin showed out again. Terry's been on a tear lately. Coach and Logan Paulsen will break down what makes him so scary for defenses. And we will dial in on the matchup with the Texans. Another road challenge for Coach and his crew. How can they leave Houston with a W? We'll get into all of that right now. Get a great deal on a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle. Peace of mind with incredible benefits. Finding the Honda you really want just got easier with Honda certified pre-owned. Hurry, see your local Honda dealer today.
How what we can do. Yes, sir. Who would you coach? My mom.
My mother would have been prepped.
Yes, sir.
You can see how much that means to him, but it means a lot to everybody in this locker room, bro. We set the tone. We took it to them. We don't got shit from no body. We set the tone, man. We set the tone. Offense, defense, special teams. We come to practice. We practice hard. We take it to people. We be opportunistic, and we gonna win games, bro. We got a lot of things to fix. We're going to go on the road again. We're going to try to get this done. Bring it in, bro. All right, family on three. 1, 2, 3.
It is all about the team. Welcome on in. Julie Donaldson here with the head coach, Ron Rivera. Coach, so many emotions for so many reasons from that game of what they were able to do going up against a team that nobody really gave them a chance.
No, they didn't. And the biggest thing was they believed in themselves more so than anything else. At the very beginning, you heard somebody yell. In fact, it was Montez said, "Hey, it's about what we do." And that's one of the things that's kind of been our mantra this year is it's about what we do. Not what people say we can't do, but it's about what we do. And I'm just real proud of the way they played. I really am.
That game ball to go home?
It did. It did. I sent it out to my father.
All right. He deserves it too. Let's get this show started. We have Logan Paulsen standing by to go over some of the film with Coach Rivera. We always look forward to those segments. He's just swimming his way on through. As we do hope Washington continues. You have to win the first one to be able to put together that streak together. And man, it was a big one on Monday night. How do you temper? Because we talk about not getting too high or too low. How do you temper? Because the team was pretty high after that one to manage knowing that there's still another game ahead.
Absolutely. And that's probably the best thing that happened to us was we were able to bring him back as quickly as possible yesterday. I should say on Wednesday. What we did really was we tried to get the guys refocused and understand that we're going to play against a Texan team that is very well coached. They're very disciplined, and they're going to play that way. And so what we have to do is we got to get past it and understand that, hey, what we did on Monday doesn't matter. It's all about what we do on Sunday.
It's a shorter week, and I know the players are always talking about one of the biggest challenges getting their bodies right and their minds. But how much easier is that, Coach, for you trying to say, okay, guys, we got to go back out there. We've got to put another good work of practice coming off a win like you had?
Well, it was easy because, one of the things that we tried to be was very aware of it. So we gave them all a Tuesday off. Then we didn't bring them in until 1 o'clock on Wednesday. So we gave them a little extra time. And then we did a walkthrough that afternoon. And then we went into regular week practices of Thursday and Friday. So to me, the really key practice was Friday, and I really liked what we did on Friday.
You talk about Houston saying that they are very well coached. They do only have one win to testify for that. However, in the games that they have played, a lot of them are determined by one score.
Yep.
So they're tightly contested games. Is there ever, do you worry about your team going in thinking we use the word trap game all the time. Do you go in worrying about them saying, okay, we just took down Goliath and this should be an easy out?
Right, and the truth is there really is no easy out in the NFL, and that's what we've got to make sure guys understand. So going to this game, it's all about what they've done too. I mean, they have had a lot of close games. They've played one-score games. They've played very physical. They run the ball well. And again, you know, based on what we did against Philadelphia, if you run the ball, you can keep the opponent's offense off the field.
So let's talk about the defense and what the performance they were able to do. We've really seen this defense kind of grow together, especially from the start of the season. What do you think you can attest that to?
Well, I think first of all is these guys have been working together, and it really started, as far as I'm concerned, with OTAs and minicamp, because you could see it. You could see the energy level these guys were practicing with. They were growing and learning. Get into training camp, and you could start to see the young guys, the Derek Forrests, the Cam Curls, you know, Jamin Davis, Benjamin St. Juste. You know, you saw those guys really start to just develop and grow, and just had a feeling that it's just a matter of time. And so it's kind of come together. I think Jack and his staff have done a really nice job, especially in light of the injuries, coming up with some of the different personnel groupings that we've used. You know, we've used everything from three down linemen, 2 linebackers, and 6 DBs, 5 down linemen, 1 linebacker. I mean, just so they've been very creative getting guys on the field. They've
been pretty stout against the run. We said that's one of the strengths that Houston would have, a good running rookie back in Dameon Pierce. So we'll see if you can't limit them in that area. But offensively, what is it that Taylor Heinicke and the play calling is able to do, especially in that game, to sustain drives, to keep the offense off the field? Why was there so much success? Well, I think it starts up front. I think our guys up front are really built to run the ball. I mean, they're big physical guys. They play well downhill. And again, if you can average 4 yards a carry, you put yourself in a lot of third and shorts, which we did. In fact, I think there was something like we were in 9 third and ones. And so that gives you an opportunity to convert. And that's what happened. We had those short yardages that we had to go for. We were able to convert and convert consistently. And this team will allow you to run the ball. They give up the league worst, 181 rushing yards a game. So maybe another big day for Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson. Chase Young back at practice. Excited to see him potentially get out there? Yes, I am. You know, he's done a nice job. His rehab's been going very well. But we'll see. We'll see come game time. Let's talk about Terry. The Commanders' star wide receiver has been shining bright lately with another example of how dangerous he can be in Monday night's win over the Eagles. McLaurin had 8 receptions for 128 yards, his longest going for 41 yards, leading Washington's wide receiving core. So here's a look at the numbers that he's put up this season. With 46 receptions so far and 268 in his career, Terry has now passed Gary Clark for the most receptions through 4 seasons in franchise history. For more on what makes Terry so scary, let's send it over to Coach and Logan in the film room. It is presented by Mavenspire. Ransomware goes 3 and out with Mavenspire's Smart as a Service security offerings. Learn more at mavenspire.com. Logan, Coach, take it away.
Congratulations on the win. These are always more fun when we get to talk about a W. And one guy in particular I thought had an outstanding game, because he has an outstanding game every week, and that's number 17, Terry McLaurin. And all of his production is supported by great play from Taylor, great play by the offensive line, but he is something special here. This is a very interesting concept. You guys like this on third down. You got 2 out routes here, and you got a spacing concept over here. Easy, kind of good for third and 2. Like this concept a lot, but the thing that I really like is that Taylor is a little bit off with this throw, right? A little bit confusing. And I love how your guy goes and fights for this football. And again, this is a drive. This might seem like nothing. It's a 5-yard game, whatever it is. But this sets up for points and allows you kind of sustain that physical style that you kind of embrace during this game. It does. And the big thing about it, more than anything else, is we set that up because we were running the ball on first and second down. We get into a third and short situation. We know we have time to protect the quarterback. If we throw the ball on the 3-step and get it out of his hands quickly, it frustrates the pass rush. Secondly, because of Terry's ability and who he is, the defensive back can't cheat on trying to jump the route. Interesting. You just got to be patient with Terry, and if you do, things like this can happen. And that is, the ball can be misplaced, but Terry still has the best chance to catch it. Yeah, because what you're talking about is here. Like, look how far the defensive back is off, right? Absolutely. He's giving a big cushion. So there is a little bit of margin for error here for Taylor, and a great job by 17 in terms of being physical at the catch point. That's something he's excellent at, and great job by Taylor. You know, giving this guy an opportunity and seeing that advantage. So obviously that is a small play, but I think pays big dividends. And then this play, you know, he does this seemingly every other week, right? Where it's a nice. He's got like a lookie or a slant here. You're going to kind of vacate this stuff out down here at the bottom. And this is going to be a version of like one lurk, where this safety is going to kind of run down here, and there's going to be potential for a collision. But I love how Terry doesn't really shy away from that.
Well, what happens here is as Taylor gets under center, he sees that the right now they're showing split. Okay, so more than likely with split, he knows that he's going to be able to get to the inside. Okay, and so
Terry you're talking about,
exactly,
right?
and that's what makes Terry so valuable for us, because Terry runs very good slants. He's a very good runner. When he gets the ball in his hands too, and he can create because of his athleticism, but he's got great strong hands.
Great strong hands, and like you said, this is an excellent slant route by him. Little hesitation, and love the angle coming out, coming across the defender's face, so protecting the throw. So even if he is in tight coverage, Terry can use those strong hands like you're talking about. And then I love this. I love when I see a receiver at the catch point not shy away from contact.
No.
This safety's been running downhill, what seems like for 10 yards, and Terry catches the ball, turns into it, and delivers a blow here, and is fighting for a first down.
Yes, and that's the one thing about Terry, too. Everybody understand. He's a little bit bigger than people think. I'll tell you that right now. He looks slender, but that's because he's taller than people think as well. And so the misconception is he's a little light, but he really isn't, and he's got some power and some pop when he hits people.
And like you said, the toughness there, and then this sets up 4th and 1 where you get that conversion, and again these are the types of plays. They don't necessarily show up in a stat sheet, but everyone is super significant. And obviously those are little plays, Coach, but we're here because Terry makes big plays too, right? So this is him up at the top. I mentioned this to you beginning. I love, first off, I got to nerd out, love the play action here. Love what this does to linebackers, but again, Terry is Terry. He has an excellent win here up the top against the number 1 corner, which he seems to be beating every single week.
Yes, well, the big thing here more than anything else is because of his release. He gets a quick jab to the outside, gets the DB to turn his shoulders just enough so that Terry gets a chance to get a step. And then once he gets a step, he does a nice job of stacking.
Yes.
And that's putting himself in position where the corner can no longer overtake him.
Right.
And he's now in the trail position.
Yep.
The big thing about this, though, this is a great ball. It's thrown to only where Terry can get to it, and that is what we call the blue line. That's towards the sideline.
Right.
Okay, about 2.5 to 3 yards of cushion to the sideline, so that Terry's the one that directs. Okay, see, the ball's thrown out there. Now, because of Terry understanding that, he uses his own speed and pace to keep that corner from getting a chance to get to the ball.
Yeah, and again, you love that. You love what he does on the little stuff. You love what he does on the big stuff. Coach, I'm really excited to see him this week against Houston, and that young rookie they got out there be a good matchup.
It'll be a very good matchup.
Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, Coach and Logan are heading into Coach's office to review some of the Texans game tape. They'll be looking at their defensive unit and a big weapon on offense. And a little later, we'll look back on Coach's winning legacy and talk about what needs to happen for the Commanders to leave Houston with the W. That's ahead on Command Center Coach Commands with Ron Rivera, presented by your local Honda dealer. And welcome back. It is time for some healthy competition presented by Ortho Virginia, the official orthopedic and sports medicine partner of the Washington Commanders. Here's a look at how the Commanders and Texans match up on paper. Washington is 2-1 this season against AFC South teams, beating the Jaguars and Colts, but losing to the Titans in Week 5. And with 8 games left in the season, the Texans have to go 6-2 to avoid a third straight season with 10 or more losses. So Coach Rivera will be looking for another W on Sunday, but we know it doesn't matter what the paper says. You have to take every game in the NFL seriously. Just ask the Philadelphia Eagles. So what is it that Lovie Smith and the Texans have planned for Washington? Well, what better way to get that than to go to the game tape? Let's go to Coach's office with Coach and Logan Paulsen. This is the Rivera Review, presented by DC Prime. All stakes are not created equal.
Coach, always super exciting to get to talk about the opponent with you, especially in your office. Houston Texans, man, they're kind of a funny team a little bit, right? They're not overly talented, have to throw a lot at you from a scheme standpoint to beat you, specifically in the run, right? They're a little bit understaffed in terms of the front, so they have to commit all these resources to stop in the run. What are your thoughts on them and how they have to execute this?
Well, one of the things that we're going to notice that they do is against the run, they're going to play man coverage, which allows them to be in an 8-man box. That way they can try and shut it down. You get a chance to watch some of the tape, you see some of these things happen. They'll play some cover 3, true cover 3, where you're playing landmark drops. It's an 8-man front. He'll Coach
You said
Smith.
landmark drops. Can you explain what that means?
Well, basically, there's certain areas on the underneath coverage that the underneath droppers will get to.
like drop into a spot, basically.
Correct.
Yep.
Basically, spot dropping.
Yep,
I'm
I
sorry.
got you.
Spot dropping. I know how you guys are. It's our language. Use our language.
yeah.
So for the most part, what you're going to see is they're going to motion the tight end over. Okay. So technically, the 8 run defenders are close to the box.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And by doing what they just did, okay, they're going to be one guy short in terms of blocking.
Right.
Okay, and they're going to play downhill. And
Yeah.
this is one of the things that if you're running the ball successfully, your play action should be good against these guys. So as you watch it, okay, when they bring the tight end in motion, the safety that's manning him up is going to come. He'll be
And
part
that's
of the fit.
the Petrie kid from Baylor.
Yes.
For a rookie, he's playing
Yep.
pretty good football right now.
Right. So now he comes into the box. The linebackers are set because in an 8-man front, they're going to read their key off of the tight end.
I see.
So when the tight end comes downhill, those linebackers are going to fire right now, and you're going to have 7 guys with only 6 guys to block.
Yes.
So that means there's going to be an unblocked tackler.
Yeah, and so that's the whole point, right? Is they got to be +1 in their run fits, right? You
Right.
see it right here. There's nobody for the safety. The receiver's trying to get there.
There technically is. The receiver should be working hard,
Yeah.
harder than he did, to try and dig number 5 out, okay,
Right.
the Petrie kid. And then what happens is the corner should come in and crack replace,
Yeah.
and that ball should bounce out to the right. Jacobs should be going one-on-one against a corner, not a tackling safety. So here you'll see the receiver try to come in,
Yeah.
and he stops.
Right.
I mean, he's got to understand that they play downhill. You have to go fire and get that guy
Right.
now. If you don't, this is what's going to happen. You're going to tackle for no gain or even a loss. I mean, that was a heck of a job and very well played up front by these guys.
Yeah, and that's something Kyle used to say is receivers take good runs to great runs, and the effort there would have gotten you. So the thing that sticks out to me there is the play action pass has got to be outstanding, which you mentioned.
Yes, just because of the fact the linebackers are very aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this is the other play. You know, obviously they're a little understaffed. We saw they kind of had to commit totally to stop the run, right? They run a lot of run stunts, 8-man boxes, all that kind of thing. And then every once in a while they throw something like this at you, which is an unusual formation, an unusual play. They ran a flea flicker against the Giants. They ran a halfback pass for Tennessee, and obviously this versus Las Vegas. How much time do you dedicate to prepping for this? And is this just a rink you say, man, we'll get to like a base call and let it ride?
Well, what will happen is, we've looked at that. We've talked about best way to defend it. And what you try to do is you always try to match just enough, okay, so that if they do run the ball, you have enough guys over there to at least create a wall to force the ball to cut back inside.
Right.
Okay, if they do throw it, you have enough guys over there to cover.
Right.
Okay, and then a guy to react to come in and chase the quarterback.
I see. Yeah, and so like obviously it's a new wrinkle every week. Are you trying to anticipate it, or is it just like, hey man, we'll figure it out as we go?
Well, what'll happen is you'll work on this. You'll talk about it mostly in your walkthrough stuff.
I see.
You may actually put it in one of your game practice day reps.
Okay.
But for the most part, at that point you are guessing. Would they want to show this to us? Well, we've worked on this.
Yeah, right.
So we should have an answer to it.
Right.
Okay. And if we don't, shame on us.
Right. The other thing about this, I think this shows the skill set of number 31 for them.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's
terrific young rookie running back.
Right.
He's a young man that we looked at, we liked. They took him in the second round, a guy that they really think can add to what they do, and he does a nice job. He really does. He right here.
Yep.
I mean, here's another great example of again understanding what your role is. Okay. The tackle in the 2-eye for the most part. Okay, if he's going to take the A gap, take the A gap now and let the linebacker scrape.
You're saying the defensive tackle to the right here.
Right.
Yep.
That's number 60's over.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're going to play it, if you're going to play the B gap, then get outside the guard, the guard, and force that ball to stay inside.
Don't put your linebacker in a bind here.
Right, and that's what happened. The linebacker had to try and play 2 gaps instead of just 1.
Yeah.
So again, understand what your responsibility is and play to your responsibility.
Absolutely, and again, like good job by 31 here. And he's a big part of their offense and a guy you definitely have to be ready for.
On game days, do not miss Command Center Game Day Live, the official pregame show of the Washington Commanders. We're live on the air starting 2 hours before kickoff. That'll be 11 a.m. on Sunday for our matchup with the Texans. You can watch on our YouTube channel, Facebook, and Twitter. And after the game, do not miss Command Center Postgame Live for reaction, analysis, and an exclusive interview with head coach Ron Rivera. You can also find that on YouTube. Take command of your game days. Don't go away. When we come back, Coach is back here with me to walk down memory lane and talk about one of the wildest plays in football history. You don't want to miss that one. It is next on Command Center Coach Commands with Ron Rivera, presented by your local Honda dealer.
Welcome to the Fight Club where everybody show me love. Yeah, yeah, show me love. Yeah, yeah, show me love.
Handoff Gibson off the edge. Andrew. Near sideline. It's caught. Touchdown! Touchdown, Washington!
Welcome back. It is time for a winning legacy presented by the Maryland Lottery. Play fast, win fast with new fast play games from the Maryland Lottery. And we are flashing back to November 20th, 1982. Coach Rivera involved in one of the most memorable football games of all time. Cal trailing in the final seconds, takes a kickoff, does 5 laterals on the way to the game-winning touchdown, and the Stanford band right on the field ready to celebrate. Coach, that is absolute. It still to this day goes down as one of the most incredible finishes. What was it like to be a part of that?
It was really cool. You know, I was on the sideline watching our return team out there. One guy that's on my coaching staff that was a big part of it was Coach Rogers. Richard Rogers, number 5 there in the jersey, touched the ball twice.
Yeah, I just learned that the other day, which is fantastic to have these guys be able to share those memories. But have you ever seen another finish like that?
No. Well, I've seen a lot of people try to mimic it.
They do. We saw it happen. Try to happen against us.
Yeah, Green Bay tried to do it. In fact, think about it. Aaron Rodgers, he was a Cal guy too, so he knows about that. But the key to this, more than anything else, is we were the first ones to do it.
You were. Trying to get this win down in Houston, though. You never want to be able to come down to one of those situations. But is that ever something you potentially practice? Because they do play tightly contested games. You think, if I'm in this situation, here's how we throw the laterals?
Yep, we most certainly do. And it's one of the things that, you do have to prepare for, and you do have to practice just in case it happens for you or somebody tries to happen against you.
We're going to look forward to this one in Houston, Washington, trying to put together a couple wins in a row. The back-to-back, first time we've had back-to-back road games. Does that change the prep work for you at all?
It does, just because of the fact that, coming into a short week and then having to get ready to leave early, so we've had to do a lot of extra stuff as far as the coaching staff's concerned, and I just really appreciate the effort those guys have put into this.
All right, it's because they follow their leader, head coach Ron Rivera. Thank you to everybody for joining us here on Coach Commands with head coach Ron Rivera. For Logan Paulsen as well with the film breakdowns. We will see you next time, hopefully celebrating another win.